This video is my Christmas gift to you and to you too. The story of Arturo de Modica's magnificent charging bull is truly an epic Christmas story, and a very real Christmas story, and a uniquely American Christmas story, but with universal appeal. 15 years ago, in the middle of the summer in 2003, after Charging Bull had already been here more than 14 years at Bowling Green, after years of urging others to write the story as a Christmas story for children and adults, much like Charles Dickens' transformational, enduring Christmas story, A Christmas Carol, set in London and traveling far and wide, and brilliantly combining both fact and fiction with a message of redemption and hope at Christmas time. I felt the story of Charging Bull had the same kind of potential if written well, combining fact and fantasy and a strong theme. Finally, in 2003, after no one else had taken up the challenge, I decided to try myself. The result was and is my still unpublished book-length Christmas story, The Magical Christmas Bull at Bowling Green, an interplay of fact and fantasy in which Charging Bull comes alive on Christmas Eve at Bowling Green to save Christmas. While very, very different, it has an underlying structure and thematic flow similar to A Christmas Carol, in my view. Here I am going to read for the first time the first 4 chapters of this 25-chapter story. What this beginning does is set the stage for the real story, which follows and is centered at Bowling Green. These first 4 chapters take place at and around the New York Stock Exchange before Charging Bull permanently moved here to Bowling Green, as Charging Bull was never meant to remain on Broad Street at the Stock Exchange. As for the full story, you will have to wait for it, but I do conclude with the theme song for the entire story, titled Saving Christmas. Lyrics I wrote and sung by Jasmine Thomas.
Yeah, we're ready.
Hi, I'm Sam Ostroff, and I'm here in my metal sculpture studio in Florence, Massachusetts. And I want to talk for a little while about this sleigh, the stainless steel sleigh that we're proposing for Bowling Green, Manhattan. We've been working with Arthur Piccolo for some time now to develop the concept of the sleigh and all the sculptural aspects of it, and it's really just going to be a fantastic piece. It's bigger than life, and obviously, you know, it's for kids, and the Santa Claus can sit up there, but the piece itself will really be a work of art, and really excited about it, and we're hoping it becomes a reality. So there are some other pieces I have here behind me that I wanted to show because the shapes are really similar to what we're talking about doing with the sleigh. And basically the entire thing will be constructed out of stainless steel and will be totally weatherproof. And this scroll shape is a shape I use often in my work. And it's TIG welded and polished. And basically the back of the sleigh has 2 of these shapes that make up the structure of it. And Arthur approached me to do this sleigh that he was talking about, and we worked together to sort of conceptualize it, and we did a number of renderings and drawings that show the sleigh in Bowling Green and how it would relate to people and everyone that might climb aboard this thing.
Chapter 1, The Way It Was. Down on Wall Street in New York City, every weekday, men and women work on the floor of the stock exchange, buying and selling stock in companies big and small. On a busy day, looking down on them from the visitors' gallery, they look like a herd of wild animals running about, shouting at each other, constantly looking up at huge electronic screens. Buy 1,000 shares of IBM, sell 10,000 shares of GM, and on and on and on, without any break at all, from morning until late afternoon. They don't even stop to eat lunch, filling their mouths with food as they continue to shout, buy 1 million shares of Disney, sell 100,000 shares of Apple. It's always the same, except at Christmas time, when even the stock exchange gets dressed up for the holidays. And at least outside the great stock exchange building on Broad Street, the world looks very different. Early each December, just after Thanksgiving, on the weekend when almost no one is around, big trucks pull up outside. And the very special one carries the stock exchange Christmas tree from far away to bring joy to Lower Manhattan in New York City. From late that Friday and through the night and on to Saturday and Sunday, the Christmas workers rush to complete their work. First to raise the huge tree off the truck, stand it tall in the middle of the street, high on its special stand. Workers in buckets lift it up towards the sky with steel cables. They wrap around the tree and then tie to buildings nearby so the tree will not fall. They take large branches, extra ones they brought with them, and attach them to the tree to make it even fuller and more beautiful. Then comes the thousands of lights and all the ornaments, and finally a big star on the top. They also scurry about putting decorations on the stock exchange, both inside and out. By Sunday night they are all worn out, but everything is ready for the next day, when everyone is back at work, and when the chairman of the stock exchange lights the tree, as he and chairmen before him have for more than 75 years, starting all the way back in 1923. So Christmas begins and everyone is aglow. For a few weeks there is a special spirit around the stock exchange, and everyone says hello, and most of all, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you. People laugh and hug each other and think what gifts they will give each other as all get ready for Christmas Day, the most special day of the year. It has been exactly this way every year, even bad ones during wars and the Depression and other sad times. Except one year, 1989, when something that can only be called magical happened there at Christmas time. Chapter 2, The Secret Christmas Project. December 1989 began just like all the other Christmases in Lower Manhattan and at the stock exchange. The tree went up and the chairman lighted it and everyone was happy. But then everything changed. Nobody knew that just north of the stock exchange, maybe a mile or two, on an out-of-the-way sleepy street named Crosby, a talented bearded sculptor who kids sometimes mistook for Santa, but whose real name was Arturo, was working on a very special secret project. He wanted to give New York City his own incredible Christmas gift. So in his workshop, all spring and summer and fall, he toiled and toiled, first in clay, and after that in big, heavy pieces of metal, to design and build a huge bull, bigger than anyone had ever seen before. Arturo chose a bull, he said, because it made people think of strength and power, but it was also an animal people adored. So he worked and worked and worked some more. When he had the head and the legs and the body and the tail and the horns all done, he went to the foundry where the workers cooked up big kettles of molten bronze and poured the hot metal into the molds Arturo had made. When all were done and after they cooled and hardened, Arturo collected the pieces of his bowl and put them in his truck and brought the bowl back to his workshop in lots of pieces. There he put them all together so well no one would ever know how many pieces it took to make this big bowl, which weighed 3 1/2 tons, 7,000 pounds. By the time he was all done, the middle of December had arrived. Christmas was very close, and he had no time to delay. He wanted everyone to enjoy his Christmas gift, but he wondered how to do it and where to place it. He thought, and he paced back and forth in his workshop, the bull towering over him. I have an idea, he said to himself. The stock exchange tree, that will do. Arturo gathered some of his closest friends and swore them to secrecy. Here is what we will do. Tomorrow night, let's gather at my workshop after midnight. We'll use all our might and lift the bull onto my truck, cover him up, and drive down to Wall Street and the stock exchange Christmas tree. One of Arturo's friends spoke up. But, won't we be caught? Do we have permission? Won't they stop us? And they all chimed in with questions. Arturo jumped high in the air and sat down right on the bull's enormous neck. Don't worry about things. I figured it all out. I even went down there last night. If we all follow my instructions and move quickly before anyone spots us, we'll drop the bull right under the Christmas tree and be off without anyone seeing us so late at night. Then in the morning, when the sun comes up and everyone comes to work, they won't believe their eyes. They'll see this wonderful creature right under the tree, there, just like a Christmas gift. And it will be my Christmas present to them and all of them. Let's do it tonight. Are all of you in? Yes, Arturo. Yes. Okay, we're agreed. Meet here just after midnight tonight, December 15, 1989, and wear warm clothes. Arturo said one of his friends, just one more question. Does your bull have a name? That's right. He can't be real if he doesn't have a name. Arturo stared and stared at the animal he created. And then he said, I've got it. From this moment on and forevermore, his name will be Charging Bull. And everyone cheered and rubbed his nose. As Arturo shouted out, go home and get some rest. We'll see you all right here at midnight. Chapter 3, Magic in the Night. It was a cold night, December 15th, near midnight, with clouds in the sky and a hint of snow in the air. Figures emerged out of the gloom, made visible by the street lights as they approached Crosby Street. Arturo was already outside, newly named Charging Bull, up on a big flatbed truck covered by a very big blanket. Come on, it's time, Arturo shouted. Everyone jumped on board. Okay, here's the plan. We'll drive down Broadway slowly. If anyone stops us, I'll tell them we're taking Charging Bull to the museum. When we get a block away from Wall Street, we'll stop and park, and I'll go ahead and make sure the stock exchange guards aren't around. And so Arturo, with a hood covering his head, walked to the stock exchange, staying in the shadows so he wouldn't be noticed. Then he saw the Christmas tree right in front of him, right in the middle of Broad Street, and all was quiet and no one was around. Arturo looked at his watch and saw it was 1 a.m. Just then, snow began to fall as he rushed back to the truck and his friends. All's clear. Let's get going. Remember, once we're right under the tree, jump off, take the blanket off of Charging Bull, and place the ropes around him so we can lower him to the ground. And once he's firmly on the ground, we'll go back and hop back on the truck and get out of there fast. Chapter 4, Mission Accomplished. They were there. They really had made it, and no one was around. Quickly, Arturo shouted in a whisper. Some of them hopped up on top of the truck and removed the blanket that covered Charging Bull. Some of Arturo's other friends helped him put big rubber slings around his body and hook them to the crane attached to the truck. Okay, we're ready. Everyone stand back, Arturo called as he got into position and slowly lifted Charging Bull up in the air and then away from the truck to a spot right under the Christmas tree as he slowly lowered his beloved bull to the ground. Arturo jumped off the truck to take a look as his friends gathered around. Perfect, that's perfect. Everyone agreed. All right, everybody, back on the truck. We have to get out of here now. With lightning speed, they all jumped back aboard the truck, drove slowly down Wall Street into the darkness as they all looked back to see what they had done. Arturo made sure everyone got home safely before he returned to his workshop on Crosby Street, exhausted. As he got into bed, there was a very big smile on his face. He had done what he planned. He had given everyone in New York City a Christmas present like nothing they had ever seen. It was 3 a.m. when Arturo fell asleep. Down on Wall Street, in the darkness, except for the stock exchange Christmas tree lights, Charging Bull stood unnoticed until the sun began to rise. It was going to be quite a day.
Santa's reindeer, so sad at the North Pole, from what they heard on the 12 o'clock news. Salvation's army stopped bleeding, and Mama said they'll be helping out soon. Will there be no Christmas, no Christmas today? Will there be no Christmas, no Christmas at all? Will there be no Christmas, no Christmas today? Will there be no Christmas, no Christmas at all? The cars get jammed on every highway, and the chimneys got it so cold. The snow beats down on every household. They be grateful for one bag of gold. But will there be no Christmas, no Christmas today? But will there be no Christmas, no Christmas at all? But will there be no Christmas, no Christmas today? But will there be no Christmas, no Christmas at all? We can't survive on trees and presents without a future where suffering is past. Let's learn to give. Let's put on a handout so we can enjoy Christmas.